rhetorical question. It's a hook. So instead of giving us, the idea of progress and a better future is a common has been a common belief throughout recent human history. Instead of that more abstract way of framing it, they're putting it as a question about personal belief and then an assertion, I still believe in those. So so these are quite abstract ideas, but they're introducing them in a more personal way. Um, it's kind of following a pattern like here's something I think, here's a piece of evidence, here's what it means, but I'm asking more questions about it. Here's some more reasoning. It's kind of giving some very strange cues, isn't it? Because if we're talking about something from 1987, um, it feels like it should be past tense. Um, Defined sustainable development. Um, I can understand why three follows one because implicit in this definition, number one is giving us a definition, number three is explaining or analyzing the definition. Um, but the relationship between four and one is hard to track, isn't it? It's kind of like they're saying, here's an idea, I believe in this idea, and then they're jumping back in time to give an example of how that idea is understood, and then they start thinking about it. But I think this one feels quite incoherent to me. Compromise to reduce or damage or diminish. Yeah, makes sense. But the opening question kind of hovers outside of all of it. Um, so I think they're setting up a general problem that they're sort of saying progress and a better future. This is an idea, but it seems to have gone away. Whatever happened to this idea? I believe in both. And then they're looking at concrete examples of how the future is thought about. But it it's a bit funny. Like I think this might be an old text because it feels like it trades on the idea that 1987 is recent, and it's not. That's quite an old report, isn't it? Mm. So I think three comes after one because one gives us a definition, three unpacks the definition and ends with a question: Is this true? The old pattern of development could not be sustained. Is this true? That idea. Um, then then they're kind of talking about what the conditions are for that idea to be true or not. Development in the past was driven by growth and innovation. It led to new technologies and huge improvements. Um, yeah, it still doesn't hang together very well, does it? Could go after three, couldn't it? And yeah, this one is it's a bit strange. This is actually taking issue with what's in sentence one. Um, in sentence one, it says from the report, they talk about the idea of compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sentence five is challenging that assumption to assume that we know what future generations will need is mistaken and has these negative consequences. So there's actually a stronger connection between one and five than there is between five and the other two sentences in between. So like if you put them in the order that it says is correct, sure, it makes sense, but but yeah, it doesn't feel inevitable, does it? So to be debilitated is like if it's to be stopped or prevented from acting. It's like disabling. So if we only think about the needs of future generations, we we end up kind of preventing ourselves from acting in the present because we're always trying to it's like it's like when people say that a university needs to be financially sustainable. They're trying to they're saying we can't spend money now on the things we say that you need because what will happen in 5 years' time? Will the university still be profitable? Will the university still, um, we need to live for the future, not for what we actually need right now. I think that's what they're talking about. Yeah, to weaken. Yeah, that's right. So the sense that we're living on borrowed time weakens us. So if we think that that our job is to live for future generations, it weakens us. So if we spend lots of time thinking about what they might need, rather than thinking about what we need, we will be weakened.